Hi everyone, welcome to our presentation on graph neural networks for neutrino interaction. My name is Yufei, and it's my pleasure to introduce my teammates to you. Setu from MSc, GP Ya-Wei from GCS, Aarman from Computer Science, and Mathias from Math and Stats, and myself from MChem. We are excited to share our work with you today. Our project aims to leverage advanced data science techniques, especially graph neural networks, to improve the reconstruction of neutrino events, which is a crucial task in particle physics research. So neutrinos are fascinating class of fundamental particles in physics that are incredibly hard to detect due to their elusive natures. They are almost massless and electrically neutral. Their weak interactions allow them to pass through the entire planet without being affected. Despite these elusive characteristics, neutrinos are abundant in the universe, making their study incredibly important for our understanding of several fields in the physics. Understanding neutrinos can unlock significant insights across all the fields. In particle physics, studying neutrinos helps us understand fundamental interactions in cosmology. It can help us get more clues about the dark matter and antimatter. In astrophysics, neutrinos can help us study the supernova, so each of these areas can benefit greatly from a deeper understanding of the neutrinos. So how is data science useful? Neutrinos' elusive nature makes their detection and study quite challenging. There are two main ways to improve our understanding of them. First, we can develop better experimental setups capable of accurately detecting them. Second, we can use advances in data science to enhance our inference capabilities, improving the detection and the study of the neutrino interactions.
So in terms of the data that we use for this experiment, what we have here is a diagram of the detection chamber for neutrinos. Firstly, neutrinos enter the detector and they interact with the liquid argon that produces charged particles. These charged particles then ionize the atoms in the liquid argon and releases electrons, which we can detect. These electrons hit planes of wires at the end of the detector, which sends electrical signals. And this detector contains 3 different 2D planes of meshed wires, so that we're able to reconstruct the 3D neutrino interaction. And one thing that's really important from the setup is that we can't actually detect neutrinos directly. We instead need to detect the effects of neutrino interactions through the setup. And so each of these 2D planes of wires collects different information, such as the time, location, intensity for any given hit in each plane. And we have 330,000 neutrino interactions in our dataset that are all produced from these interactions.
So we represent this data using graph neural network algorithms, or GNN. We use the GNN because most wires don't really detect the signal most of the time, so the hit data will be naturally sparse. As such, it is most effective to encode these hits in the graph as opposed to traditional convolutional neural network algorithms in computer vision. To gain insights into neutrino interactions from this data, we use the supervised deep learning model to find the properties of each hit as well as their connections. Note that we can only detect the particles produced by neutrino interactions, not neutrinos themselves. So the first thing we are interested in is what type of particles produce the hit. Secondly, we would like to know whether each hit is neutrino-induced. And lastly, where the neutrino interaction is. So the GNN model works in the following way. Hits from each of the 3 detector planes are encoded as nodes in 3 separate, undirected, and fully connected graphs. During training, message passing iterations happen both within and between the 3 graphs to learn node and edge features. Finally, we will be able to use these features to downstream decoding tasks.
Now, talking about the challenges with the current baseline model that we have, the current baseline model that Fermilab uses is a linear model in which the aggregation operation is performed at the node level. This means that and the aggregation happens whenever a decoder is called for a downstream task. And since our operation involves multiple decoders, if all those decoders are called, it leads to unnecessary repetition of aggregation operations, causing higher computation overhead. Secondly, aggregation occurs after node level message passing and not at a higher level. And after these final embeddings are calculated at the node level, these are aggregated to produce an event level embedding. But because message passing doesn't happen at the event level. The event level embedding does not improve with epochs. Now, to address these challenges with the current linear approach, we've suggested a hierarchical sawtooth structure. The sawtooth structure involves aggregation and message passing at multiple levels. Firstly, it happens at the director hit node level, and then it is passed up the chain. What this approach does is it reduces computational redundancy, since similar aggregation operations are consolidated and they're not repeated over time. Secondly, since the message passing also happens at the event level, the event level embedding also improves over iterations.
In our experiments, we explore various aggregation and activation functions in graph neural networks. Next slide. Our initial findings are represented in these two graphs. On the left, we see the vertex resolution for training, while the hierarchical model performs as well as the linear model. On the right, we look at the computational overhead. Interestingly, the hierarchical model shows less CPU and GPU overhead compared to the linear model. This indicates that the hierarchical model is more resource effective. In this graph, it shows the training process during different aggregation method, min and softmax. While the min method experienced instability during training, it eventually converged. In this graph, it shows focusing on the impact of different activation functions on our models during the training phase. Each line representing a different activation functions, but they are all show convergence during training steps. In these two graphs, we see the CPU usage where different aggregation configuration vary slightly in resource consumptions, but all remain within the tight range, suggesting efficient CPU utilizations. Next slide. The GPU overhead also varies slightly different depending on the aggregation method and activation functions used, but they all show efficiently utilizing the computational resource.
But we have made modifications in the code base by helping implement a preliminary sawtooth architectural model. We've also gained benchmarks and results in the different variants of the sawtooth model mentioned. We have faced challenges such as the code base being updated by Fermilab, which has made some of our work redundant, and the PyG update that led to redundancies and compatibility issues in our code. Our work matters because we have improved performance and efficiency with the hierarchical model. This allows a better reading of neutrino event detection with more efficient computations. It justifies the large investments that go into neutrino detection. These are improvements in the data methods. It leads to better results in future experiments and pushes the frontier of physics, which can give an insight to which neutrino theory is most coherent with model predictions.
We'd like to thank our mentors, Dr. Giuseppe Cerati and Dr. V. Hughes from Fermilab, our external mentors, Dr. Chong Liu, who's our internal mentor, and Yiran, who's our TA for the project. Thank you.